afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to the first episode of Tribecast. I'm Zach.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Eric.
And we're going to be your hosts for this amazing, wonderful podcast where you just listen to us talk about sports on a weekly basis.
Ladies and gentlemen, strap yourselves in, put your seatbelts on, because it's time for sports.
Already? We're not going to introduce ourselves?
Zachary?
I'm going to introduce myself.
After you.
All right. Well, I'm Zach, and I like college football. I'm going to talk about it during this podcast at some point, probably after we introduce ourselves. But I am a sports fanatic, and I like to sleep a lot, and I eat pizza on a daily basis.
All right, my name is Matt. Some people think I'm a bit of a funny guy. I'm here to talk about the wonderful world that is football and professional wrestling, and a little bit of baseball in there. And I'm going to turn it over to my pal Eric now.
Thank you very much, Matt. The only thing you need to know about me is my name is Eric, and I like soccer. And I'm not going to call it football, even though that's the right term, because that's too confusing. I'm going to call it soccer.
What are you going to call it?
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. But are you going to call it like English, like football, or are you going to do like football? Like what kind of football?
If I say football, that's going to get confusing, because you're talking about football. And, I mean, we both know which one's better, but, we're not going to get into that now.
Well, to clarify, I'm talking about American football, the actual football.
Oh, okay. Well, you can have fun with your hand egg sport later. I'm going to toss it off to Zach right now, and you can start talking about your college football or the layer below real football.
So you mean the best part of football, college football?
Well, you see,
Okay,
we can talk about an actual college sport here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, college soccer isn't the best, bud. All right, anyway, I have a college football blog. It's called The College Football Frenzy. You should look it up. It's at www.thecollegefootballfrenzy.blogspot.com. It's pretty nice. I make a lot of jokes. It's pretty great. Anyway, today we are going to do something for my blog. I hold in my hand a paper, and on this paper I have a certain number of games that I did not bother to count, and I will ask my friends here for predictions on the outcome of those games. So, you guys ready for this?
I believe so.
I was born ready.
Well, you said you didn't like football anyway, so of course you weren't. Anyway.
Yeah, it's football.
First game, we have 3-4 BYU against the 6-0 number 14 Boise State. Who do you got and why?
Well, the numbers don't lie, so I'm going to have to go with Boise State on this one.
Just because of their record?
Yep.
All right, Eric?
I'm going to go with Boise State because it sounds pretty cool.
All right. Well, I have BYU because I like BYU. And I think Taysom Hill is still the quarterback over there. If he's not, then I'm sorry. But I like Taysom Hill, and I think that he can lead BYU to a nice victory over Boise State, who has not really had much competition this season, honestly. The Mountain West Conference is a joke besides, San Diego State. Anyway, next game. Wait, so just to clarify, Boise State, Matt chose Boise State, you chose Boise State.
Yep.
Eric chose Boise State. I can't just say you.
You were the odd one out.
I was the odd one out.
BYU. But
I'm obviously the expert. I put that in quotes, by the way.
if that's
anyway.
what you call it.
Yeah, expert. Okay.
I don't know the quarterback, but...
All right, next game. We got the 5-2 number 17 Arkansas Razorbacks against the number 21 4-2 Auburn Tigers. Who do you got and why? Matt?
Well, I'm going to have to go with the Razorbacks on this one.
Why is that?
Because a Razorback sounds like a much cooler animal than a tiger.
As you can see, they have no knowledge of college football whatsoever. Eric?
Zach, I'm going to have to go with Arkansas as well.
All right,
because
why?
I think the record stands for itself.
All right, 5-2, even though Auburn's 4-2?
Yeah.
That one win does it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well,
you see, Zach, all it takes is one win.
See, it's experience.
It's
It's experience. They have 5 games worth of winning experience.
It takes one
Well, they have
chance.
7 games of experience in general, 5 of those being wins.
And that's more than their 6, so hey.
Okay, anyway. I also have Arkansas because, as you guys know, I've been in Arkansas. Actually, do you guys know that I've loved Arkansas since the Ryan Mallett era? He was drafted by the Pats, and now he's on the Ravens. I know that. Ryan Mallett is one of my favorite quarterbacks. But I have Arkansas in this game, even though they're at Auburn. I'm a little scared about this game, but Arkansas for the win. So we all have Arkansas for this one. Next game, we have 4-2 NC State versus number 7 Louisville, who is 5-1. Who do you have and why? I'm going to switch it to Eric this time.
I'm going to switch to me this time. I'm going to say Louisville.
You're going to say Louisville? Why?
I'm going to say Louisville. Because, I don't know, I just think they're going to win. You know, when you have that feeling, like
that
when
gut feeling.
when you wake up in the morning,
Oh
like
yeah.
sweating, and you just scream out Louisville. It happens all the time to me. So
Oh, yeah.
I think that's my pick.
All right, Matt, who do you have?
I'm gonna go with the Louisville as well in this one. You know, they have the ranking.
Have you been having the dreams too?
I guess I have. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Dreams.
The dreams.
Yeah.
The voices in your head. The
Not
Randy
that far,
Orton
but-
reference.
You know, a little bit of Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come.
Baseball reference for college football. I like it. Well, I also have Louisville, and this was a tough game for me because NC State almost beat Clemson last week. We're recording this on what's today, October 19th.
Today is Wednesday, October 19th.
All right, so last
2016.
Saturday on the if you can do the math and tell me the date of that at some point during this, if you can tell me what last Saturday's date was, NC State almost beat Clemson,
calendar.
and I was very excited about that, until they missed a field goal at the end and I cried. But anyway, I have Louisville in this game mainly because they're the home team. What was it? October 15th. Oh yeah, that was a bad day for me. October 15th. That was that day. The day that NC State almost beat Clemson. But I have Louisville mainly because they're at home, and Louisville is amazing at home. Just like Lamar Jackson is amazing in general for Louisville, and he is my Heisman pick. We could get into that at some point in the next couple weeks.
I'm not sure who that is.
So we all have Louisville. You'll get to know him. If you read my blog, obviously you don't. But if you read my blog, you know who Lamar Jackson is. He's the best guy ever.
Well, obviously no one's read the blog.
On to the next game.
Ouch. Okay. Next game, number 10 Wisconsin coming in at 4-2, and Iowa coming in at 5-2, who are unranked.
I was unranked.
Yes. So who do you have and why? Maybe because they lost to. Obviously, apparently nobody reads my blog, but you read my post about the FCS North Dakota State team that beat Iowa. Well, they were ranked, I think, number like 11-ish, 11-ish in that general area. It was a teen number,
Well,
like 11 teen.
first
So
team's Wisconsin, correct?
the first team was Wisconsin.
You know, I'd have to go
Home
with
of the
Wisconsin.
cheese heads. I didn't ask you for your pick yet, but
Well, because I think they have wonderful cheese, and if anything, I hope that reflects on their footballing abilities.
I love the reasoning you guys have for this, because
Well,
you obviously don't know anything.
Every day I would pick cheese over potatoes, because potatoes are from Iowa too, right?
I
believe
think
so.
I think nope. That's corn.
Corn.
Idaho has the potatoes.
Either way, I'm gonna pick cheese over corn. So
Okay.
Wisconsin.
Okay, that's
Alright.
a bit corny. It's also a bit cheesy, but I think we can get over it.
Well, I'm gonna be starch with you on this one. That's my pick.
This is why we have a podcast. All right. I also have Wisconsin mainly because I like Wisconsin. Well, actually, I don't like Wisconsin. I prefer Wisconsin basketball over football, but I like Wisconsin. I don't like Iowa because what's so good about Iowa? Can you if you named all the 50 states, can you at least just go Iowa? Can you is that like one of the first you can name is just Iowa?
You know, I think the first that I would name would be our state.
I'm sure
Okay.
people from Iowa.
What state are we from, Eric?
What state are we from?
Oh yeah.
You know, I have to say Massachusetts, but I think I'd like to phone a friend on this one.
Matt, what do you think?
I would believe we're in Arkansas right now
Why is that?
because Arkansas seems like a nice state.
I think he's just appealing to my love of Arkansas. But we're in Massachusetts, just in
Yes.
case you were wondering, because we're
And-
smart.
We are not in Boston.
Nope, we're not going to give that location away. All right. So, do we all have Wisconsin on this?
I believe we all do, Zach.
All
On
right.
to the next pick.
Everybody loves cheese. Next game, we have 6-0, number 6 Texas A&M versus 7-0, number 1 Alabama. Who do you have and why? This is also the game of the week for this week.
Well,
Sponsored by Main Studios. Who do you have and why, Eric?
For me, Zach, that's a tough one. But, I'd have to say Alabama.
Why is that?
Because they're ranked numero uno.
And that's Spanish for number 1, just in case you were wondering.
Wow, well, thank you.
I'm
not
pretty
like
sure
a-
they
We're
knew.
from Massachusetts, so we have this knowledge.
We're from America. We're
I'm
not culturally
pretty-
diverse enough.
Pretty positive most people know what numero uno means.
Well, maybe if they were from France, they wouldn't.
Well, my pick is, of course, Alabama.
Well, yes, you established that.
Yes,
Tide?
because I think, number one team, I don't see how they can mess it up.
All right.
Well,
Who do you have?
I'm gonna have to agree and pick Alabama.
All right.
I know they're called the Roll Tide, and I know they're
Well, they're
very
called the
good.
Crimson Tide, but they say Roll Tide.
People like them a lot, and they're very good. So I'm gonna have to go with them.
All right. I like it. I also have number 1 Alabama, just because they're at home and they crushed Tennessee. And I'm going to plug my blog again because I'm just good at doing that. And if you read my blog, you know that I have a burning hate for Tennessee just because they're bad and don't deserve to be ranked at all. and they do not have a chance of winning the SEC at all.
Zach, what are they ranked?
They're ranked 18 now. I remember that because I was happy they were ranked before Arkansas.
Are they ranked 10?
I think everybody should give
Tennessee?
this blog a read.
Next pick, Zach.
4 minutes.
Well, I didn't finish.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, I have Alabama just because they're at home, and like I don't know. The only thing that's good about Alabama this year is Nick Saban. Like I can't name a major star from Alabama really. Honestly, I don't know. Like they're just good all the time, and I don't like it. But like I respect Alabama because they're just good, and Nick Saban's amazing. But I have Alabama. Really, fingers crossed for that Texas A&M upset though, because I just want to see Alabama fall. Because who doesn't?
Well,
you
Alabama
got,
fans.
Alabama
fans,
fans, obviously, and bandwagoners. But I have Alabama, but I could always go for Texas A&M. So next game, Memphis coming in at 5-1 versus number 24 Navy, or the United States Naval Academy football team, coming in at 4-1. Who do you have and why? Matt, switching it up.
I think I'm gonna go with Navy.
Why?
I'm gonna have to go with that ranking again.
All right, we're just
Yeah,
going. We're just
next
shooting for
ranking.
the popular team here. Eric, who do you have?
Well, I'm sorry to say, but I have Navy as well.
All
Simply
right.
because I respect the military too much.
All right. I also have Navy because they're at home and they beat Houston, which I was pleased with that. Like I like Houston football. Greg Ward Jr. is nice. He could be another Heisman candidate. He's kind of slipping away in those like little Heisman standing things, rankings. That's the word I'm looking for. Rankings, the Heisman rankings. He's slipping. Mainly because he throws a lot. I wouldn't say he throws a lot of picks, but he's not the Ryan Fitzpatrick of college football right now. We'll get into that, by the way. Ryan Fitzpatrick, because Geno Smith.
That's a later story, though.
That's a later story for later. That's why it's called a later story. Anyway, I have Navy because they beat Houston. But I wouldn't count Memphis out of this game because Riley Ferguson, the quarterback of Memphis, is doing amazing things. He was my player of the week when they beat Bowling Green State 76-0, and he threw 6 touchdowns or something like that.
I don't know much about football, but I think that's pretty good, Zach.
That's pretty good. I will admit Bowling Green State is terrible this year. They're like 1-5. Also a future alma mater of mine for some weird reason.
Check that out on the blog.
Check that out on the blog, yeah, dude. I actually wrote about Riley Ferguson in my blog.
Exactly.
If you want to check that out at some point.
Check it out.
Oh yeah, check out my blog. It's also at www.thecollegefootballfrenzy.blogspot.com. Check it out. Next, so we all agree Navy.
Yes.
All right.
USA.
USA Memphis is in America too.
But you can't get much more American than the Navy football team, so.
That's true. I'll give you that. All right. Next game, we have TCU coming in at 4-2, and number 12 West Virginia coming in at 5-0. Who do you have, Eric, and why?
I'm gonna say TCU.
Ooh, why? This is the first upset pick we've had today, besides my BYU pick.
Well, simply because of that, Zach. I think it's good to have an upset pick. A lot of people don't think about the underdogs, but they can really hang in there.
I feel like it's just being biased because I'm wearing a West Virginia football T-shirt right now, but
that may be it.
I'll let it slide. Matt, who do you have?
Well, clearly West Virginia is the superior team here,
Oh, yeah.
so I'm going to have to go with West Virginia.
I like it. Fist bump me to that. Oh, yeah. I also have West Virginia because you can't beat the Mountaineers, and they're just amazing in the Big 12 for some reason, even though they don't belong there. They're just there. I can accept the fact they're in the Big 12.
Zach, what's the record again?
5-0.
5-0.
That's impressive.
5-0.
That's pretty good.
And just remember,
that's not biased.
TCU lost to Arkansas, and they almost lost to Kansas.
Almost.
Almost. And remember, if you know college football and you think about the Kansas Jayhawks, compare them to their basketball team. Their football team is pretty bad.
Hey, if you want to know about college football, check out the blog.
Check out the blog. You can. I probably wrote about something about one of these two teams. I don't know. Check out my blog. You should know the website by now. So Eric is TCU because underdog story, and Matt and I have West Virginia because the Mountaineers are the greatest team in the Big 12 besides Baylor and Oklahoma State. But whatever. Anyway, next game. Number 19 Utah coming in at 6-1 against UCLA coming in at 3-4. Matt, who do you have and why?
I think I'm gonna have to go with UCLA
Are
on
you
this
looking
one.
at my paper?
I am not looking at your paper. I'm just saying
Alright.
UCLA. They're a
Why?
well-known team, and I'm gonna have to go with the Bruins on this one.
Oh, you know the mascot. He has some knowledge. I like it.
know
That's good.
at least 5 mascots
He knows
in
that.
college, so that's one of them. So
Because you're also a mascot.
that is not true, but it
It's true.
could have a little bit.
Are we
of
not
reason
allowed
for
to reveal your secret identity on this?
Well,
It's
You know,
it's
we
it's,
can
it's
just
been it's been revealed now. It's too late.
we could always cut this part later.
No, we're not cutting this. Don't cut this. All right, Eric, who do you have in this game? Number 19 Utah and UCLA.
You know, Zach, I'm gonna have to go with Utah
Utah? Why is that?
because of their record, Zach.
Because their record.
Because of their record, Zach. I believe that speaks for itself.
All right.
Zach, what did you pick?
I picked UCLA.
Oh, okay.
You do know that you own a UCLA
You
jersey,
do know
right?
how
This
to
wouldn't
read
have to
numbers,
do with
right?
this, would it?
I do happen to own 2 UCLA basketball jerseys.
Are you
But-
aware of what the
That's
numbers in the record mean?
The numbers they mean wins and losses.
Good.
And if you threw in that third thing onto the far right, the third number, they could tie. But nobody likes ties.
Except at a formal event.
I was
Continue, Zach.
I was waiting for that pun. Thank you, Eric. But I have UCLA. They're at home. I don't trust Utah. They've always seemed good, but they always lose some like random game, and I think this is the random game. UCLA has struggled a lot. I mean, a 3-4 record, but I have faith in them. They're at home. I think the crowd will have some effect, and I just think it's gonna be UCLA.
Yeah, fair point.
Fair point. So
Fair
2
point.
UCLA to 1 Utah. I like it.
All
All
right.
right. I like this little. I don't want to say diversity. That's not the word I'm looking for. What's the word I'm looking for?
Banter,
Banter? Nope. That
back and forth.
we all have different opinions. I like it. That's what I'm just going for at this point. Anyway, next game. Number 2, Ohio State versus Penn State. Ohio State is 6-0. Penn State is 4-2. Who do you have and why? I'll just go with Eric this time.
You know, I'm gonna have to go with Ohio.
Ohio State.
Oh, I'm
You
so
cannot
sorry.
confuse them with the University of Ohio Bobcats because they're
I-
mediocre.
Given the context,
I apologize. Ohio State, due to their exemplary record, and because I don't know anything besides that. The
Can you?
record.
Okay. No, I wanna try something here. Can you name the Ohio State mascot, Eric?
I cannot.
Matt, can you?
Is it?
The
is
Buckeyes.
It a piece
Okay.
of corn?
it is the
It's
Buckeyes.
not. I'm sorry.
Do you think there's corn in Ohio?
I don't know
Well,
what they do down there in Ohio. I've
um,
never been to Ohio.
I've been to
Does
Ohio a
Ohio
couple
exist?
times.
I've
Oh.
never actually been there. Have you been there?
As someone who has stepped foot
Can
in
you
Ohio,
confirm it exists?
Ohio does exist.
Damn.
I have been to Ohio as well.
Okay, you
I've
have
been to
voted me. Never
Cleveland.
mind.
I've been through Columbus. I've been to Cincinnati, and I've
Oof.
checked out 2 colleges out there.
So what you're telling me
These are
is
both
you're
lovely
picking
cities.
Ohio?
I have picked Ohio State, but we have to ask Matt's opinion first.
Well, I'm gonna have to go with the Buckeyes on this as well. You know,
Why?
I think Urban Meyer is very
Ooh,
strong
throwing
coach.
in some knowledge in here.
very strong coach. So I have to go with the Buckeyes.
Trivia: where did Urban Meyer coach? Which team did Urban Meyer coach last?
Not this
Michigan.
The Florida State Gators.
one. Not this one.
Did I say Florida State Gators? The University of Florida Gators. I apologize to all you Florida State
We
fans.
have Florida State is Spartans.
Florida State is the Seminoles.
Seminoles. No, that's Michigan State.
Michigan State is
bad.
the Spartans.
I've been there.
You
Lovely,
ha- you have
lovely
been there.
university.
All right.
Lovely.
Michigan State is not on this paper, but there is another Michigan team on this paper.
So shout
Anyway,
out to Michigan State.
I also have Ohio State. As much as I've been to most of Penn State's home games, and they've won all of them. So I think because I'm not going to this one, they're going to lose.
Oh, you will not be at this.
That
game.
sounds
I will
like
not be.
sound
I will
logic.
not. I will not be at this game, even though I've been to the first 3 home games for Penn State.
If you weren't
So-
to Penn State, you're losing your good luck charm.
I know. I apologize to what's his name? I want to say his name is Trace McSwirly. Might be. I feel like it's Todd, but it's not Todd. The quarterback, McSwirly.
I believe it is Todd.
What?
I think it is Todd.
I think it's Trace. Why would you know?
I watch ESPN.
Okay. And I also apologize to Saquon Barkley, the nice running back over there.
That sounds like a fake name. Is that a fake name?
It's a Key and Peele name, as a matter of fact.
Shout out
Yeah,
to Keith.
continue.
Shout out to Key and Peele, sponsor us.
You guys are listening.
Oh yeah.
Just know we're thinking of you.
They're in our demographic. So, all 3 of us have Ohio State just because they're good, and Penn State does not stand a chance. Think of the Michigan game, and just take that into consideration of how much of a demolition that was, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I do not.
That is a no.
Well, let's just say Michigan killed. I'm gonna say they killed them. I don't care. Penn State was literally murdered.
Zach, my innocent ears.
I apologize. I apologize for this biasm. I'm making a word now. Biasism.
Bias. You
Bias.
could just say bias. You could just say bias.
You gotta be creative to get somewhere in life, I feel. Anyway, Ohio State is gonna win. Next game, Miami, Florida. The Miami University in Florida, not to be confused with the University of Miami, Ohio. Actually, I screwed that up. It's the University of Miami in Florida and Miami University of Ohio.
Just the Hurricanes?
The Hurricanes.
Why would you ever name something like that?
Because the
That's
Miami,
like as much sense as
the
Blue in
Miami
Iceland.
Valley in Ohio. See, I got this Ohio knowledge in my head. You have the Miami Valley in Ohio,
Okay.
which I want to say may or may not be named after Native Americans to be in fact.
I see.
Okay.
Anyway, Miami, Florida coming in at 4-2 versus Virginia Tech coming in at 4-2, both unranked in the ACC. Who do you have and why, Matt?
I'm going to have to go with Miami.
Why is that? You're looking at my paper and I like it.
That's not true. Well,
Right.
it wouldn't help with my knowledge of football.
That's true.
Well, maybe if I read the blog.
Yeah.
Well,
At
in short-
www.thecollegefootballfrenzy.blogspot.com if you're interested.
Well, in short, I'm going to have to go with Miami on this one. I feel like the Hurricanes it's a very strong name, so Hurricanes are very strong. So
Plus, The Rock may or may not be from Miami.
yes, that's right. He's got
You're not wrong. It has to be one of those two possibilities, so you are right on that.
I don't know what The Rock has to do with this, but
hey.
you said strong name, and I thought of The Rock.
Well, Rocky, if you're listening, we're thinking of you today. So
We could talk about you on Matt's wrestling segment
yes,
if we ever get through this. Anyways, Matt, you have Miami just because of the name, right?
exactly.
All right, Eric, who do you have and why?
I have Virginia Tech.
Ooh.
Simply because.
Just because
Tech.
Because their records are even, correct?
they are even. They're both
They
4-2.
They are even, and I think Virginia Tech seems like the stronger school. And
All right.
It sounds cooler.
Well, I have Miami because Virginia Tech somehow managed to lose to Syracuse. Syracuse.
Syracuse. That's no disrespect to you.
Well, actually, I'm
No disrespect to you, Syracuse.
I'm considering Syracuse to pursue my undergraduate degree because it's a great school. But honestly, the Syracuse football program is I'm just gonna use the word mediocre again because they're just not good in the ACC at all. And I mean, I don't blame them for not being good. I mean, you face Clemson and Florida State, North Carolina. You face all those teams every year, and like you used to be in. I want to say that they were a part of the AAC, the American Athletic Conference.
That could be true.
That could be true. It might have been the Big East at that point too, but they won it before they left. Like their last season in the Big East / AAC, they won the conference title because that conference is also a joke. No offense to all the AAC teams. Sorry that you were not part of the Big 12 expansion. But I have Miami because Virginia Tech, I don't trust them. And yeah. So we all have Miami. No, Eric has Virginia Tech, man. I have Miami.
Correct.
All right. Next game. The Central Michigan Chippewas. I want to throw in that mascot just to sway opinions here. Coming in at 5-2, and the Toledo Rockets coming in at 5-1. Who do you have and why, Matthew?
Well, a rocket could clearly destroy whatever a Chippewa is.
I think it is a muskrat.
Well, I mean, last I checked, rockets were a lot more powerful than a little muskrat. So, yeah,
Right.
rockets.
Can we have our producer look up what a Chippewa is quickly as we discuss this?
Can I just point this out? You mentioned rockets and muskrats, and I just thought of Elon Musk and rockets, but that's completely unrelated.
This is a sports
I would
podcast.
have to go. Whatever small animal a Chippewa is, I would have to go with them, because it clearly seems superior to whatever a rocket is.
Well,
Our
clearly,
producer is
that's a
laughing at a Chippewa. Can you tell us what a Chippewa is?
A Chippewa is a group of indigenous peoples in North America.
So it's not an animal.
No, it's a group of Native Americans.
I apologize to
I'll
anyone.
Near
that I
the
just
Rio
offended.
Grande River.
Well, if
Really?
you want to say,
So they're
technically
near
humans are
Texas?
animals, but that's not a good way to
Yeah.
put it. So
Okay.
Oh, again, I'm gonna have to stick with the Rocket on this one.
So we
again, I'm gonna have to stick with the Chippewas on this one.
Okay. I chose Toledo because their football program has always amazed me coming out of the MAC because the MAC is mediocre. The M in MAC, the M in MAC
There's
stands
a lot
for
of mediocre football, isn't there?
There's a lot of mediocre. It's the only good word. It's the only I don't want to completely insult them. I'll insult Northwestern at some point during this because you guys are terrible. But I don't wanna. I think mediocre is a fine word to use to describe certain teams. So
Fair enough.
I have Toledo because I've always loved Toledo football. I'm a bandwagoner. I just jump on board any team I think is good besides Alabama. But well, most of those are good teams. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is I chose Toledo because Toledo football is amazing, and they're going to beat the currently 7-0 Western Michigan Broncos, which you can read about in my blog.
That's a warning for you, Broncos. Watch out.
Can you guys plug my blog in for me right here? Do you guys know the website by now?
It's on Blogspot, College
www.collegefrenzy.blogspot.com.
Frenzy.
The collegefootballfrenzy.blogspot.com. Check it out. I'll probably have a team spotlight on the Western Michigan Broncos, who are actually ranked. A MAC team is ranked, you guys. They're ranked number 20 right now.
I wouldn't
Oh
understand.
my God, are you
but-
serious?
Yes.
I love the sarcasm. Is that it's not even sarcasm? I
It
don't know.
was a genuine surprise.
It's genuine, not genuine.
Huh?
Okay, continue.
All right, I have Toledo. You have Toledo. Matt has Toledo. I can't say you in point. This is because they don't know who I'm pointing at. And Eric has
Well, they don't
the
know if I'm here.
Chippewas,
I have the Chippewas.
even though they're not a small furry animal.
They are not. I
They're not.
apologize for thinking
Yes,
that.
I apologize for offending any Chippewas out there.
I think it's time to take a caller.
We don't- let's just avoid this. Okay, this game never happened. Anyway, next we have 5-2 Colorado against 4-2 Stanford. Eric, who do you have and why?
I would definitely pick Stanford because Stanford is a school that I'm considering going to, and they will definitely win.
Watch out, this guy's making differences, so get ready for him.
All right,
I'm coming for you.
Stanford. You're coming for Stanford. Are you coming?
I'm coming for Stanford.
You're
But
coming for
they're
Stanford.
in California, right?
They are in California.
You
Can
know
you
what-
say
you know
where
what?
in California?
No, I cannot. But you know what California has that they don't have here?
Beaches.
They
Disney.
also have black widows, and you know what black
Earthquakes.
widows do? They kill you.
Well, they
You
have
know
a,
what I
Like
don't
the
wanna do?
superhero.
I don't wanna die.
well, they have Disneyland as well, so
Well, okay.
Matt, what's your pick?
I'm gonna have to go with LSU.
That's not even an option.
That's
not even an option.
I was
I'm
looking at your
pretty
paper.
sure
I was
I
looking
have-
at your paper.
You.
I looked at the paper.
Okay. He looked at the next game, which is Ole Miss and LSU, but we'll get to that. Matt, Colorado or Stanford? Colorado's 5-2. Stanford's 4-2.
Colorado's pretty high up.
I'm gonna have to go with Stanford on this one
Why is that?
because that's Eric's dream school, so
All right.
it's probably pretty good.
So now you support one of my schools, Eric.
We can just cut that part out later about the LSU.
The LSU. No, I wanna leave it. Leave LSU. All right. Anyway.
We'll leave it up to the producer.
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, next game, number 23 Ole Miss versus number 25 LSU. Matt already has LSU. Would you like to tell us why?
Well, I'm gonna have to go with LSU because I think traditionally in the past, as I've seen, they have a strong program. I'm not too sure how they're going this year, but I'm gonna have to go with them on this one.
I'm pretty sure they're both teams. Ole Miss is 3-3. LSU is 4-2. And also keep in mind, LSU has already fired head coach Les Miles this year.
I'm gonna stay with LSU.
Staying with
4-2 is
LSU,
better than
You're gonna
3-3.
stick with Leonard Fournette, who's I think he's gonna play this week. I don't have connections to the LSU athletic department, but I'm pretty sure Leonard Fournette is going to play this week with his ankle injury. I can double check that at some point. I can't now. Can my producer tell me about Leonard Fournette and his ankle about this game? But Eric, who do you have?
You know, Zach, I'm gonna say LSU because Ole Miss. I remember talking about that in my AP U.S. history class, and they were a very racially. What's the word I'm looking for that's not too offensive?
Biased.
Yeah, bias is a good way to put it. They're just racist, or at least they were. They're not anymore.
You just went from racially biased to just racist.
No. I'm saying back then they were. I don't know if they
Well,
still are now, but you know, I'm thinking LSU.
We're in modern times now, and I
think they're good now.
and I
Don't see what?
My producer has told me that Leonard Fournette will play this week against Ole Miss, but that doesn't matter because I have number 23 Ole Miss because Chad Kelly is a beast, even though Arkansas defeated him last week.
Clearly, they're 3-3, so.
I would say Suey, but I can't get my voice that high, so go Arkansas. Anyway, I have Ole Miss. I have Ole Miss going at 3-3, going into Death Valley in LSU, beating the Tigers.
Oh, Death Valley doesn't sound fun.
Because the Tigers are terrible, and they should have kept Les Miles because I respect Les Miles, along with Nick Saban and most coaches.
Mr. Miles, if you're listening, you have a fan here, so.
There's a coach I don't respect, but I will think of his name later.
Feel free to
because I
call
don't know
him.
any coaches' names. I don't respect you, Northwestern. Or Tennessee. Whoever is the coach of Tennessee, I don't respect
Mr.
you.
Miles, feel free to come on the show anytime you like.
Last game of these many games. If you're keeping track, please tell me the number of games. But
20-something.
No, not even close. Anyway, Washington State, the Cougars, coming at 4-2. I don't know why he snapped. Versus Arizona State, the Sun Devils, coming at 5-2. Eric, who do you have and why?
I'm gonna say Arizona State, the Sun Devils.
Because of the name?
You know the name, and I like their record, and I think they're gonna do good. It's hot down there in Arizona, so
That's why they're called the Sun
they
Devils.
have to really train.
They're not called the Cloudy Devils, Eric. They're called the Sun
They're
Devils
not
for a
called the
reason.
Cloud Devils.
That
but
would, Cloud Devil would be an interesting name, but.
It would.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to have to go with the Sun Devils as well in Arizona. Arizona has always seemed like an appealing place to me, so Arizona. You go.
Well, while we're on the topic of Arizona, before I say my pick, Gronk went to the University of Arizona, or did he go to Arizona State?
I believe it was Arizona State.
It was
See,
Arizona State.
I may not know all about college football, but I know pieces here and there.
Yes, we know Patriots players. Well, most of us.
Yeah.
Eric, but
Tom Brady.
Actually, I took a lovely trip to
Gotcha.
Gillette last week, so I would just like to give a
can-
shout out to Gillette Stadium.
you could have waited to plug that into your maybe NFL segment. Anyway, I have Arizona State because they seem to be doing fine this year. I mean, I don't really know anyone on Arizona State, but like they've always seemed to be the Pac-12 team that can upset anyone at any time. Washington State, by the way, beat Stanford last week. If that influenced anyone, I didn't tell you that. But yeah, but either way, I have Arizona State. They're at home. They're pretty good. Someone name me an Arizona State player.
Rob Gronkowski potentially used to be one.
Potentially
I'd like to
used
think
to
that.
be one. A Sun Devil. There we go. All right. Well, that wraps up our picks for the college football for this week, week 8. I think we're at week 8 of the college football season. Anyway, I had one more question for my fellow tribe members here about college football. Matt, can you name the top 5 teams in the top 25? And no, you don't have to do. Well,
We know of Alabama,
what number are they?
1,
Uh-huh.
and Ohio State is 2.
Uh-huh. Can you name the 3 others?
Was there a Michigan team in there at all?
There is a Michigan team in there. Can you name the Michigan team?
Was it Michigan State?
It was not Michigan State.
University of Michigan.
It is the Wolverines, in fact.
Wolverines.
Can you guess what number they are?
4.
They are number 4.
See? And then from there, I'm blanked. Take it to you, Eric.
No, nope, I won't.
Oh,
Can you
no.
just name 2 more teams they think are there?
2 more teams. All right. Well, Arizona State. They were doing pretty good.
Nope.
Right? No.
That's
not
not
at all.
there.
Nope, not at all. Well,
Nope, I would have said their
forgot
number
the
in the pick. So
I
just
forgot
just
the
name
numbers.
just name 2 teams. Just name 2 teams that you think are in the top 5. Just name 2.
Florida State.
Florida and Florida State. Are you gonna go with those 2?
One of them.
One of
Florida
them.
State. Florida State.
So it's Florida State. What's your other one?
You know what? I will go with Florida. Florida
Florida and Florida State. So you have Alabama, Ohio State, Florida, and Ohio State.
Yes.
I feel like I named them
The
twice.
Wolverines win there somewhere.
The Wolverines. Thank you. I knew
Yeah,
I
number
said
4.
Ohio State twice. All right, Eric. Who do you think is in the top 5?
The only one I know for sure is Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Matt has informed me Ohio State is second.
Yes.
Wolverines are 4th.
Yes.
Is Boise in there anymore?
Boise is not in there. Boise is number 15.
They're number 15.
That's
Alright.
top 25.
That
We're gonna
is-
play it like this. Just name 2 more teams they think are in there.
I don't really know any of the teams, so I'm saying
Well, you just gotta name like a state at this point.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin and
Ooh, what's another good
We didn't
state?
talk about Georgia.
I hate Georgia. Florida.
Shout out to the Bulldogs.
Florida.
Florida. All right. So just to remember this, Matt had name your teams again.
I had Alabama, Ohio State, Florida State, Michigan, and Florida.
Eric, you had
I had Alabama, Ohio,
Ohio State.
Ohio State.
You suck, Bobcats.
Then I had Wisconsin, I believe. Then the Wolverines. And then I believe my last one was Florida.
All right. Well, you guys had 3 of those teams correct.
Thank you.
Because, well, Matt named the 3 teams for you, Eric, but that's okay.
I had one of them.
You had one of
I
them.
had Alabama.
All right. Well, the real top 5 is not Michigan. Alabama's at number 1.
Got it.
Ohio State's at number 2.
Got it.
Actually, Matt, I lied. Michigan's at number 3.
Didn't get it.
Clemson's at number 4. I just
Didn't
remember
get it.
this now.
Oh,
And Washington,
dang.
the Washington Huskies. If you read my blog, you know where it is. You will understand my I wouldn't call it hate, but my opinions on the Washington Huskies that may or may not be negative in some sort of way. But after they beat Stanford, that kind of changed. But I still don't trust them, and they are going to lose to probably Washington State in the Apple Cup. But anyway, that's a top 5. It appears we are out of time for this week, except for the first episode of Tribecast. Thank you for joining us on this episode.
We hope to see you next week.
Yeah, next week. We should have another one going next week.
I've been your host, Eric Silvera, and here's my co-host.
I'm actually the real host here. I'm also Zach Kell.
It's still a
I'm
power
just
struggle.
Zach.
It's a
I'm
power
Zach.
struggle. Our
And
last
this
host.
is
I don't like this.
Matt. We are actually equal hosts here.
We're the tribe. We'll see you next week.